I want to talk about 3 lessons that I learned from working in long-term care. If you don't know what long-term care homes are, it's basically imagine a retirement home, but for people even older than that. Usually people in retirement are around like 60, maybe 65, 70-ish. Long-term care home is usually people like 80, 90, whatever. So you get the point. The first thing I want to talk about is your financial health. Be financially responsible early because these long-term care homes are very expensive. And if you think the rent that you're paying or the mortgage that you're paying is a lot, like be prepared for another one once you're done working now because a lot of these homes are like 4K a month. Some are like two, right? It's still a lot, but more realistic. But like, yeah, be prepared to spend like five, some are even like six, some are even 10 for like the really high end ones. And if you're in a position where you didn't retire financially prepared, you, you're out of luck, bro. Like you're gonna be on the street. Someone you love might be on the street or just they won't have housing, at least not in a long-term care home. But in general, financial like stability is something that you should strive for early, and it'll help you a lot once you get to that stage in your life. The second thing I want to say, a second lesson I learned was your mental health, not in terms of like depression or anything like that, but like your cognitive function, being able to remember stuff, being able to speak, being able to walk. I don't care how athletic you are now. I don't care how many push-ups you can do, how many crunches, how far you can run, how high you can jump. Once you get to that age, there's just a certain, sometimes you're just unlucky. You know what I mean? Sometimes dementia hits you. Sometimes Alzheimer's will hit you. Sometimes it's just injuries, joint deterioration, bone deterioration, whatever the case may be, bro. There comes a point in time where like you just can't do things on your own, right? You maybe you can't remember things. Maybe you're just not gonna be. I just think it's very rare for a lot of people to be that like to be agile and mobile at an older age. And when your brain starts to go, man, like stuff like that just gets sad. Like there are some residents that I've seen that have children, and the children will come in, and the resident will remember who they are. You know, I've witnessed it. Like, oh, like who is this? Uh, like there was one specific example I remember. A resident's child came in, and they were like, the resident was like, oh, what's your name or something along that context, and then the child was like, oh, my name is Bethany. That's not the real name, but you know what I mean. Bethany. And then the resident was like, oh, that's my daughter's name. Yeah, right? My daughter's name. And the child, or I guess the daughter, was like, oh, yeah, because I'm your daughter. You know what I mean? And yeah, she forgot her own kid. Um, that's not something that you want to experience. Take care of your brain. Like, if you do martial arts, bro, like if you're boxing and stuff, that's stuff's cool when you're 30, 20s, 30s, even 40s. But, if you're out here getting your brain moved around inside of your skull, bro, that's going to affect you long term. Yeah. So take care of your brain. The third lesson, family, have somebody that cares about you, build up some kind of either, yeah, family, bro. Have people there that'll care about you when no one else will. And it's kind of sad because I see a lot of the times a lot of family members give up on their older parents. It's actually really sad if you think about it. Like a lot of times you'll see no one comes to visit, no one really makes an effort to be there once their parents reach a certain age. So I guess there's two things you can say in this. Like while you're younger and you still have your parents, like, and if you have a good relationship with them, cherish that. Because eventually, if they don't go, right, which, no one wants, but if they don't go at an age where it's like still manageable for them to live life, like it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. And put yourself in that position, right? Like if you get old enough and you have nobody, especially if you're not financially secure, that's how people end up just dying in their living room by themselves. You know, they fall, no one knows, no one cares, and then they, starve to death. Or actually, I've not experienced that, but I've seen that uh, close to where I am. So there was a couple, and one couple, no, one, the man in the relationship, he was mobile and the woman wasn't. So he could walk, right? He could walk and do stuff on his own. And they weren't even that old, to be honest. And then the woman, she couldn't. She was on a wheelchair. So the man, right? And this is what I'm talking about, having someone that cares about you. Because if you don't, you're kind of ruined. So while the man was still alive, right, he was taking care of both of them. So I guess he was moving her around, helping her out, stuff like that. And then eventually he passed away and she didn't have anyone else, right? I don't think they had any kids either. No, they didn't. They didn't have any kids. They weren't financially stable enough for her to go into a home or anything like that. And yeah, she passed away, I think, like a couple of days later, just because she just could not help herself. No, there's no one there that could help her. So yeah, bro, like family is important. Like you might think your boys are there for you, but your boys ain't gonna be there for you when you can't walk. They're not gonna be pushing you around in strollers and wheelchairs. They're not gonna push you around in wheelchairs. And yeah, bro, just having somebody in your life, or like people in your life, especially children, bro. And I know people are like, oh man, dating is cooked now and this and that and the third for different, on both sides, right? It's on both sides, but try. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, people forget about that later portion of their lives. And I've seen people like 100 who live in those homes, bro. They're not doing anything for themselves. They're not walking. They barely understand where they are. They can't feed themselves. They can't really speak that well, but yeah, bro, those are three lessons that I've learned uh, working in long-term care, and hopefully this puts some stuff into perspective for some people. Let me know what you think is how let me know what you think about the vid. Let me know what you think. If you have anything to add, if you've ever worked in this industry, I'll probably do a couple more of these. I've worked in different industries that have all taught me different things. But yeah, follow me on Instagram. Let me know in the comments what you think. Watch my other video if you haven't. And yeah, see you in the next one.